Hey everybody, this is Dead Winter Dead with another Battlefield 4 video for you. Today we're going to be talking about the mysterious weapon X factor, so to speak. Now you get a lot of YouTubers and you get a lot of players who comment on certain weapons. This weapon has the best stats. That weapon has the best stats. This is why I'm running that weapon, because I saw some YouTuber running it and they did really good, so I'm going to run that weapon. And that's really the wrong way to go about it. Now, don't get me wrong, stats do go a long way in determining how effective a weapon will be on the battlefield. As you know, the M416, the AEK, the ACE, those are all excellent weapons. They've got great stats. They're arguably probably the best weapons, some of the best weapons in the game as far as assault rifles go. You know, generally people get hung up on how the weapon looks on paper instead of actually taking it out to the field and giving it a shot themselves. Perfect example. Probably two of the toughest weapons to learn how to use, or to actually be effective at, in Battlefield 3 was the M240 Bravo and the G3A3 battle rifle. Both of those weapons, the 240 Bravo and the G3A3, were my number 1 and number 2 weapons in Battlefield 3. I loved those weapons. Now, if you guys don't remember the G3A3, it was a battle rifle, and it hit hard, but it had a ridiculous amount of recoil, and the rate of fire was just terrible on it. And it was a weapon where if you came up against a PDW or an assault rifle in very, very close quarters, you were going to lose. So you really had to change your play style to become effective on the battlefield with that weapon. Now, the 240 Bravo, has made a reappearance in Battlefield 4, excuse me, and it's kind of the same way. It's one of the tougher LMGs to learn how to use, and I would argue that the LMG class is probably one of the toughest classes to actually be really, really good at. Now, yes, they do a lot of damage, and yes, they have a lot of rounds in the magazine. Anywhere from like 45 all the way up to 200, and that goes a long way. But they're difficult to control, and the rate of fire on some of them is not as desirable as it could be. And yet, you see players who can be really effective with them. So the point that I'm trying to get across here is that don't just go by stats. Don't go by what one YouTuber says or another YouTuber says or what your friends say. Don't even go by what I say. I mean, if I say, oh, this weapon's great, it's going to be really, really good. Don't just take my word at it and be like, hey, Dead Winter Dead says the LMGs are great, so I'm going to run the LMGs all the time because he seems to be successful at it. No, don't do that. Go out to the field. By field, I mean the virtual battlefield DICE has provided us with, and try the weapons out for yourself. Now, you might find that a weapon that you never even considered using on the battlefield is all of a sudden an excellent weapon for you to use. It has that quote-unquote X factor. It has just maybe the way it feels. Maybe it's the sound of the weapon, that chug 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 of a weapon. Maybe it's the the way the weapon looks. I mean, some people are just like, hey, this weapon looks so cool, I'm gonna use it, and they end up being good at it. So go out there, step out of your box, get away from some of the the typical assault rifles, the M416, the AEK, and don't just go by what the stats say. Get out there and try some weapons for yourself, because you might be surprised. My name's Dead Winter Dead. Thanks for watching.